Damn, they say that? Hey, what's up, good people? It's Delonzo Barnes, the host of the Daddy Everyday podcast. Thank you for tuning in again. So today we are talking about taking the leap of faith. Um, this is the journey that I'm currently on. I don't think I fully pushed myself there. I'm hoping by doing this episode, I'm going to encourage you and keep myself encouraged as well. Uh, it's unique leap, going up another level with his studio. I was already impressed by the first one. He took it to another level. So big shout out to him. That keeps me motivated as well. So taking the leap of faith. Now I'm not going to get too biblical on you guys because I can't because I don't read the Bible like I should. I'm gonna do that one day. Uh, so taking the leap of faith is about you trusting yourself, your goals, your vision, then of course trusting the man upstairs, like you going all in on it. Now nowhere in this talk I'm going to tell you guys to quit your job, because I'm not quitting my job to take the leap of faith. You can marriage the two. I need my job to help pay or obviously hold down the household, but you also need it to possibly fund some of the things you need to do until you get the money up. So nowhere in this am I telling you guys quit your job. Now, if you're making money in your endeavors and that money is enough to take care of the things you got going on, maybe you can then have a conversation about that. But until then, I wouldn't encourage anyone to disrupt their household taking that leap unless it's absolutely necessary and you got full belief in what you're doing and full belief in the Lord, of course. Now, in doing a little research on like what does it really mean to take the leap of faith, I realized by not taking the leap of faith, you're first of all doubting yourself. You're doubting your vision, and you're doubting that the man upstairs has your back. Now, with what I'm trying to do with Daddy every day, I know I've come short on a lot of things, whether it's not properly promoting my endeavors, not really pushing my books like I should. Like I get a royalty check every month, but I know when I put forth effort, that check is bigger. So I've seen the benefits of me really pushing myself. Now, I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know what it is that's holding me back, because I know I'm not afraid of failure. I'm not afraid of doing something and it's not working. Totally not afraid of that. I think I'm almost afraid of succeeding, but that imposter syndrome that I talked about a couple of episodes rears its ugly head and gives me self-doubt. Like anytime I'm doing something productive, I'll have self-doubt about it. Like things can actually be going well, but I'll still have self-doubt about it, about my ability to truly do the things. But now it's come to a point. I'm at a breaking point. Love my day gig. Love it. Been there almost 20 years. Pays the bills. Allowed to take vacations. Boys get to eat what they want to eat. I never lack. So that's a great thing. But it's not my calling. The Daddy every day and everything that's involved with it, writing books, all that is my calling. I never dreamed of writing a book. I never dreamed of trying to open a center, a community center. Never dreamed of this stuff. Like once the calling hit me, that was it. That's where my mind was. For matter of fact, at the time of when Kendrick gave me the idea for Daddy Every Day, I was working with bands, recording their performances, about to put a documentary together. And once this Daddy Every Day calling hit me, it was a wrap. I couldn't focus on anything but Daddy Every Day. And I knew that this was my calling. Now, fast forward nearly 10 years. I think my first book came out about 10 years ago. Fast forward to now, it is time for me to take that leap. I know I've been holding myself back. And it's, like I said, it's not the fear of failure. It's the like, am I really meant to do this? And everything he's put on my heart to do, I've done. I've had success. I've had people tell me, thank you for the book, for the workshops I've done, whether it's the advice I've gave them through DMs or email. So I know I'm on the right path. So it's about taking that leap and going all in, like truly going all in. Now, when you're doing this, you have to understand there will be setbacks. There will be doubt. You will doubt yourself. Others will doubt you, especially if your goal is big. Like for me, my true leap of faith will be opening a community and resource center, Daddy Everyday Community and Resource Center. I started working on the logo, started checking out spots to hold it. Originally, I looked at different office buildings. I was looking at offices, and I realized, no, that'll work for maybe having small gatherings for workshops and things like that. But I want a place bigger so that I can host events there. So I have a big goal, but I still have to kind of work small in the sense like I'm not going to grab a warehouse and try to convert it to a community center. But I definitely want to make sure it's the right size so that I can start hosting events. Now, I was given advice from other nonprofit organizations saying, hey, maybe you should partner with a church. And I thought about that. But the thing is, I don't want to be tied to anyone else where I have to follow their rules or their availability to use the space. I have to have my own space because some days it may be 8 o'clock in the morning and I realize, you know what, I need to have a workshop or I need to talk to some fathers or talk to some men or have an event Monday night, like same day. And I can do that in my own space. So I have to have my own space. I have to. So that's my goal, is to open my own space. I know I can partner with a church and probably have a space, but it'll be very limited. I probably can have workshop on some of the subject matters I want to have on. Like, I really want to be able to talk to fathers and men as a whole, as open as possible, and I don't want to have any restraints. And also, like, I thought about, you can have events at libraries and things like that, but, like, the COVID thing really threw me off because I had library workshops and things like that all lined up, and then all of that went away. And had I had my own space, and then obviously with safety precautions, I could have continued my Daddy Everyday efforts and not had that 2 to almost 3 year window where I wasn't doing events. So that's where I'm at now as far as taking my leap of faith. So, like I said, this episode is about encouraging you. And I know there's plenty of you guys that are listening to this. And it's not necessarily opening a business that as far as taking your leap of faith. Sometimes it's like going back to school and with your schedule and maybe you have kids and work and all that stuff, how difficult that can be. But this is the time to do it. I challenge you to, whether if it's going back to school, looking up what school you want to go to, what subject you want to major in. What would that look like schedule-wise? How can you fit that in? And now with the online learning, it's a lot easier to fit that in your schedule. I went to school and got a degree in marketing, and I went online. So I had my busy schedule at times, working 2 jobs, had the boys and everything. And I was able to, finish school, graduate by taking classes online. And it allowed you to work at your own pace. So I challenge you, if it's something like that, take that leap of faith and at least get the information. And the more you get the information and dig into it, you'll see that this is a possible goal. Now, if it's opening a business, and then let's say you're, whether it's food, you're selling food or your services or things like that. If you've been doing it, you can totally do this full time. Like, someone asked me one time while I was at work, because I got noticed by somebody shopping, and I felt good, but then it was humbling at the same time because they looked shocked to see me working a day job. It's like, Daddy Everyday, they recognized my face. So I felt good at that time, but then at the same time, I won't say I felt ashamed because ain't no shame in working, but it made me think, like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like I said, I don't dislike my job, but it's a job. It's not my calling, and that's what I need to be working in my calling. And I talked to that I don't want to say fan, but that reader, because he had one of my books. Talked to him for a minute, thanked him for his support and everything, but it definitely lit a spark under me as far as, all right, it's time to move on. It's time to be doing what you're supposed to be doing. So the challenges, the self-doubt, you can counteract those things by partnering with people, like gathering your friends and family members that are supportive. I challenge you to get a mentor. I have a mentor. I don't know, he knows he's my mentor, but I look up to him and I get advice from him, so he's my mentor. And then I need to get a coach. I need to get a business coach in the sense of navigating through things I'm not thinking about. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I only know what I know by like what I'm trying to research and things. I need someone to help me think sometimes outside of the box. Now, reason why I don't partner too much with people is because if I already have self-doubt in me, and for someone to doubt something that I want to do will make it so much worse. But I shouldn't let that be a barricade for me working with people and things like that. I can tell you two quick things as far as Daddy Every Day. One thing where I didn't take the person's advice, and one I did, and I wish I didn't. So originally, when I mentioned Daddy Every Day, someone suggested I should just make it a blog, not a book, just do a blog. And what's crazy is I knew it had to be a book. I knew I had to have something tangible to show my efforts and to pass the word on. This is the Daddy Every Day, rewriting the Black American Dad story. And I knew it was bigger than a blog. Now, and mind you, I did a blog afterwards, really no readers, a few readers, but nothing like what the book did for me. And had I took that advice and just did a blog, I'd have probably been lost right now and not working in my purpose. The other advice that I did take, and now I'm trying to correct, but I took that advice maybe 9 years ago. I mentioned to someone that I definitely looked up to in the industry that I wanted to open an office for Daddy Every Day, to have workshops and things like that. And he told me, don't open up an office. Just do workshops here and there at libraries and in churches and things like that. And which I did. I did things at companies and churches and libraries, but it was limited. Also, whenever I wanted to do something, I couldn't just do something. I had to make reservations months in advance. Sometimes you have an idea and you want to capitalize on a moment and you want to have that workshop in 2 weeks. I couldn't do that. It left me lost for a couple of years, and then COVID hit. So here we are now. I'm trying to open a Daddy Every Day Center. I don't kick myself for not being there now, for not already being there, because my dream is bigger now. Originally, like I said, I was going to open an office. Now I'm trying to open a center. I want to be able to host workshops. I have dozens of workshop ideas, and not just my workshop, but partnering with other nonprofits and having them come in, actually sharing this community and resource center with other organizations. I want to partner with schools. I want to offer tutoring session for students, like getting teachers to volunteer or at a low fee to help come through and tutor kids on certain days. I want to be able to do that at an instant. Help kids study for the SAT, ACT. That's what Kendrick's going through right now. That reminds me I need to stop by the library and grab that workbook for the SAT and ACT. I want to be able to have workshop for fathers. In particular, recently released fathers that were incarcerated to help them get their fresh start. I want to be able to have panels with mothers discuss their viewpoints on dads, how can dads help in motherhood and pregnancy and things like that. I want to have workshops for new dads, helping them navigate or know what to expect. I want to build a sense of community wherever probably Henry County. I'm going to definitely say that because that's where I live. So I figured that's where I'm going to lay my roots as far as Daddy Every Day. But I definitely see this being something that goes beyond just Henry County. Of course, one of my biggest holdups with everything that I've done with Daddy Every Day is my inability to ask for donations. And no, I'm not about to do a telethon right here and right now, but I have to overcome that. I have to think I'm not a business. I'm a nonprofit. Nonprofits solicit donations. That's what it is. I've tried to fund things on my own. I've donated, I don't know how many books to prisons and libraries, doing this all on my own. So there will be coming a Daddy Every Day Community and Resource Center campaign to raise funds to open this center. And I can't do this without the community. I mean, if I'm doing something for the community has to be involved in it. I have the proof of concept that this will work, partnering with schools, government agencies, churches. So it's about me just taking that leap and trusting in my abilities, my vision, the man upstairs who put this on my heart to do. So once again, I challenge you guys, especially if this is your calling. Like if this is like you're just feeling like this is something you just want to get rich quick kind of thing, you know, you take the leap, cool with you. But I'm talking to those that feel like it's truly their calling. They can't focus on anything else. It's like they have to do this. Like I think all day. That's what gets me through my workday is thinking about how I'm going to impact the lives of fathers, families, and the community. So I have to do this. It's bigger than me. Like me doing this and working full-time in Daddy Every Day isn't about me. It's about the impact that I'm going to have on the community. So that's what drives me every day to try to be better at what I'm doing behind the scenes, the things you guys don't see. Like another book I'm trying to work on. Well, actually 2 books. One I'm partnering with Dylan. Opening this community center, doing these workshops, partnering with other nonprofits. Because first of all, I don't fear the whole nonprofits. We're all after the same money. There's plenty of money out there. And that's for any industry. There's plenty of money for everybody, no matter. So you don't have to be competitive in that sense. There's people who can donate to you and to the others. So I don't fear competition by trying to work with other nonprofits. So because you know how I get when it comes to giving out information. But I'll be updating my website to include the campaign once I actually get it started. And then, of course, the website is daddyeveryday.org. And so once I mention to a couple people, I always like to mention what my subject matter is going to be when I'm doing a podcast, just to get any additional feedback, maybe a question or two. And the question I got, and I feel like I'm stumbling on it because there's no direct answer because it's different for everybody else, is how do you take the leap of faith? Before you can do anything, it's truly believing in yourself. And for me, it's just shaking that imposter syndrome complex that I feel like there's moments where I feel unstoppable. And then in those moments, that's when the self-doubt hits. The self-doubt doesn't hit when I'm not doing anything. It hits when I'm rolling, when I'm doing things, when I'm setting up interviews, when I'm setting up any project that I'm going to do with someone else. That's when the self-doubt hits. So when self-doubt hits, just know that means you're moving in the right direction. Because when I'm at home watching TV, I don't have self-doubt. I don't have doubts that, oh, you're not going to make it. It's only when I'm moving forward. So let that be your first sign that you're moving in the right direction if you start feeling self-doubt. And then, of course, all the challenges come at you. Whenever you're about to have a breakthrough. That's when you have your biggest obstacles and everything. So just keep that in mind, that when you have that, let that fuel you. Let that reassure you you are moving in the right direction when that self-doubt hits. Because I'm telling you, until I learned that, I would stop a lot of things. Like, I think I would have more books written by now because I had that in me, but it was still the self-doubt. Even though I get royalty checks that show there are people that are reading what you're writing. These are people I don't know. Like, I think everybody that I know has already bought the book, like, years ago. Like, that is over. Everything I'm doing right now is people I don't know, people I'll never meet possibly in my life that feel what they've read, like whether it's just a description or review, was enough for them to spend their heart on, earn money on. And shout out to everyone that's watching this, that's done a review. And if you purchased my book online, please do a review, do a video. That's another thing that I don't do, is tell people to tell people about me. Because I do a crappy job at it. And that's the self-doubt. That's still the not thinking. I don't even call myself an author. I'll tell people what my day job is before I tell them I'm an author. There are people who I've worked with. Now, I've been with the company I'm with for 20 years. And there's some people who don't know I'm an author. Like, they'll stumble across my social media page or something, and it was like, oh, I didn't know you write books. And then there'll be somebody else say, yeah, he does this and that. Or somebody at work would tell them I've written a book, or they'll tell them about the workshop they went to that I did. That's that self-doubt type stuff. Shout it from the rooftops. Like, I have to, and today has to be day one. And I got a couple of people in the studio right now, and they can be my witness. And every one of you that's listening to this, that's watching this, to be my witness, that every day I'm going to tell the story of Delonzo, where that I'm an author. Obviously, I don't mind shouting out that I'm a father, but I'm an author. I'm a director of a nonprofit. I'm a speaker. I don't call myself motivational speaker, because if I didn't motivate you, how can you call me a motivation speaker? So I'm just a speaker. And if you choose to call me a motivation speaker, thank you. But every day I'm going to let people know what it is that I'm doing, what I've done, and what I'm going to do. Because if I shout it out, that probably would be the floodgates for others to shout it out. Because it's like, if I'm not shouting out my own stuff, I definitely can't expect others to do that. And in the beginning, I was thinking that. I was like, well, dang, ain't none of my friends posted I wrote a book or anything like that. But damn, I didn't post that I wrote a book or anything. So I'm challenging myself starting today to shout out, I'm an author. I'm a speaker, I'm a writer, all that. When I introduce myself to new people, that's what I'm going to lead with. I'm not going to tell them, oh, I work here, but no, I'm an author. Now, I happen to work somewhere else, but I am an author first. I am a director of a nonprofit first. I had to file taxes and everything for that. That's what I do. So I'm challenging you guys to do the same thing. If you cook your tail off, you're a chef. You've made money doing it. Like, if anything, whether you rap, dance, anything, if you've made money doing it, then that's your profession. Like, it may not, right now, what I do with Daddy Every Day, True Transparency, doesn't match what I do at work. There's been times where, like, it made me really excited, but those were the times that I really put in the effort. So I challenge you to push yourself more, as much as I'm going to push myself more. And of course, I always have a script, but I just let the Lord lead me when I'm speaking. I can't even jump back into it now. It will take me about 5 minutes just to find my spot, but I feel like I'm saying the things that need to be said. And as much as when I do these podcasts, I'm hoping to help somebody out there, it helps me. Like, when I do an episode, I still have anxiety before doing it. I like the car ride to the studio. I still feel that anxiety, but then I do it. I'm way more comfortable in the midst of doing things than I am leading up to it and then sometimes afterwards. So I challenge you, just do it. There's way more comfort in doing it than to thinking about it and then overthinking after you've done it. So like right now I feel on top of the world while recording this. Afterwards, I'm going to go ahead and start putting into place the things I said I was going to do as far as letting people know. There's more spaces that I'm going to be looking at this week for the potential Daddy Everyday community rescue. Well, I will be rescuing some families, but resource center. And just go ahead and get ready to start soliciting donations. I've done it on small scales to do like little workshops here and there, but now it's time to do it on a bigger scale because my vision is really big. And that's what scared me a lot too, is like, oh, it's cool doing little stuff, just do workshops and things like that. There's no fear in that for me to do. The challenge is trying to do something big, me believing, and getting others to believe. But as long as I believe and I feel like I'm doing what's right, I won't focus on making others believe because I know there's a need for what I'm trying to do. So I want to wrap that up because I'm actually ready to go get started. I'm probably going to look at some spaces before I even get back home. Well, I got to get back home because I got to play Kendrick and Madden. I know Dylan's going to want to do something. He's probably going to make me play Kirby again. I hope he don't watch this episode. But or maybe we'll play Uno because that's kind of quick. So I got to do some things with my boys first. After I do that, I got to take them to their moms. Then I probably check out some office spaces on the way back home. But I'm really excited. I'm nervous as hell, I'm going to be honest. I know I'm doing what's right. I know he has my back, the man upstairs. And I know, and this is what I want to do. I'm still nervous though. I'm nervous. I'm going to work through it. I know the challenges going to come. I know the self-doubt's going to come. I'm going to soldier through it. I know I got this. Here's the thing. I have no doubt that I will be successful in Daddy Every Day. That's the craziest thing. It's just that my actions don't match that confidence in that. Like, it's almost like for a musician, you know you're going to get to where you're trying to go. You know that. Like, so you're comfortable in that. But your actions, like, are you really truly doing all the things you need to do on a daily basis? Because I know I can go days without doing anything for Daddy Every Day. That's not going to cut it. It has to be a daily. I like using the word grind, but it doesn't necessarily have to feel like that in life. Like doing Daddy Every Day stuff is the exciting part of my day. Outside of my boys, this is the exciting part of my day. It's doing whatever it takes for Daddy Every Day, but I don't do it every day. So I have to live by that. Like I do being the daddy every day, but I don't work in my business every day or in my organization every day. So every day, guys, every day, like if you're a chef, work on new recipes, perfect the ones you already have every day. If you're trying to be like a fitness instructor, like just get with some of your friends, lead classes, just every day doing something in your industry, in your profession, in your calling. And that's the biggest thing is for those that feel like they have a calling. I challenge you. And I wish I would have heard this type things. Like, I don't listen to many motivational speakers because a lot of times they all start sounding the same or they're too extreme. Like one says, don't go to sleep. The other one says, make sure you get your rest. It's like, who do you listen to? I say, first of all, when it comes to all that, listen to your heart. Like, gravitate towards people who have the same message. I was listening to everybody at one point, so I was all over the place. I was feeling guilty for trying to sleep and things like that. So, once you know what you need to do, just do it. I promise, we all have the solution. Like, I know the things I need to do for Daddy Every Day to be successful. I don't have to do a bit of more research. All I need is action. And I guarantee there's a lot of you guys out there that all you need right now is just action. You don't have to read another self-help book. You don't have to listen to another speaker. I still suggest you listen to podcasts because they're great things. But you don't have to do that. You just need to take action right now. And if this sparks one person, please DM me, email me, and say, hey, this was what I needed. I guarantee you, if you start moving towards your goal, you will see the results you want. The self-doubt, the challenges, they're going to come. As long as you keep moving forward, you'll push through those. And I'm telling you, there's going to be an episode that I'm going to come here and I'm going to tell you, guys, I opened the center. Guys, I've changed lives. I'll bring in the fathers who've been moved, families who've been changed. That's going to happen on this podcast. I'm going to keep you guys updated on that. But that's my time, guys. I thank you for listening. I know, like I said, I always get off script. I always have this. I'm like, it sounds so good when I'm like rehearsing this and going over it. But I had to just let the Spirit move me. And I don't like just sitting there reading. I just have to let it flow through me. And this is what I feel like when I'm driving in the car. What I'm saying to you guys now is what I want to say to you guys. Like, this is like to rehearse. I can't do rehearse. I have to speak from my heart and in the moment. Like, in the moment right now, this is how I'm feeling. So I thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Daddy Every Day on Instagram. I keep saying every day I'm going to leave Facebook, but Daddy Every Day on Facebook. Of course, if you have not subscribed to Evan Vision on YouTube, do that first. Before you even write down your goals on what you're trying to accomplish, subscribe to Evan Vision on YouTube so you can see this pretty mug on video. Spotify, of course, the Daddy Everyday Podcast. I'm getting the text now. Yeah, doing my thing, guys. So thank you again. It's time to take that leap, guys. All right? Next episode, I hope to tell you guys a lot more. I have that website, daddyeveryday.org, updated with the Daddy Everyday Community and Resource Center campaign. So you guys can go ahead and start donating. On my social media and everything, you guys are going to start seeing a lot more of that. I look forward to working with you guys. Hit me up if you have any suggestions on workshops I can have at the community center and things like that. If you know of any spaces available, hit me up. Henry County area, thinking McDonough, but I'm still kind of leaving myself a little open with that. But that's it, guys. I'm going to get out of here or I'll rant for another 20 minutes. Thank you again. Until next time, guys.